Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Vader 400 and the brown skin Hewitt, coming back at you with another video cartoon intro remake review intro. This is the intro to various remade cartoon reviews and rants. For some odd reason, even though I did do this in the past, when it one of the Sonic songs I used has a copyright on it, and it's not a big deal. But if I ever when I decide to set this channel up, when I get eligible for monetization, I can't get any money from ads from the video, so that's why I'm just redoing it with two different songs that surprisingly don't have copyrights on them. This version is the same as the last one, except my clothes and stuff will be different, and of course the intro songs will be different. Instead of using what I'm made of, I will use the songs intros will be Weekend and Sonic's Back in Time. And for cartoons that do deserve a rant, or for videos that do deserve a rant, what I'm made of will be used as the outro for the various cartoons. So yeah, this is the intro to various narration. Part 1 will be narration. Second part will be season and episode webcam reviews spliced together to one video. Some of these won't go on all platforms. Yes, some of these will only go on YouTube, and some of these will only go on Facebook. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Let's go back in time to when television and cartoons were great. everybody. It's time for another off-camera part 2 webcam review, and this time this is part 2. This is my long overdue part 2 review of the 1980s superhero family cartoon Bionic 6 as the Douglas Blair Roberts YouTube social media personality based character. The part 4 on-camera real-life superhero version will be in the description box below and will be recorded immediately after this video right here. This right here is the part 2. Episode 1 will play in the background. This is also my review of season 1. Season 1 of Bionic 6, which so far so good. I've 13 episodes in. There are really I think 16 or 18 episodes in season 1, but remember, I'm doing this season based, so it's 13 episodes each for each season. So the first 13 episodes I watched this so far has been a great season and a great start to a awesome show. I have two more seasons to go. There were a total of 43 episodes. So the next review will be 13 more episodes, and then the final one will be, I think, 17 or 18 plus episodes. So with that being said, this is basically my review of the first 13 plus episodes. Since it's difficult to recall and remember everything about this show, I had to watch these episodes multiple times before I finally got together to finally record this review right here. Since it's difficult to do that, once again, I'm bringing back the post-episode review and reactions of each episode, similar to what I did in the late 2010s and early 2020s Disney Channel situation. Disney Channel television series. I'm doing this. I'm bringing this back for retro and old school, retro and modern cartoons and television shows. So with that being said, yes, let me get started with the review right now. Let me start the episode.
We are a family. I fight for them, they fight for me.
Yeah.
Close as we can be.
Yeah, Bionic 6.
High in the mountains or deep in the sea.
Let me let the theme song finish first.
Bionic 6. We're all together. We fight for right. Bionic 6. We are so proud to be a super future family.
A family brought together by faith and given superpowers through the miracle of modern science.
Bionic 6. We're all together. We fight for right. Super future family. And we're so very proud to be Bionic 6.
Sorry for that brief pause, but no matter how much I turn the volume down on the video, no matter how much I turn the volume down on the video, no matter how much I turn the volume down on the video, that theme song, especially the video, and that theme song is still loud and it drowns out my voice. Anyway, like I said in the previous portions of my reviews of Bionic 6, I first saw and heard of Bionic 6 in I think about 2016 or 17. 2016 or 17. I watched a couple of episodes. I remember liking what I saw. However, I didn't understand or know what was going on. In those first few episodes I watched, that wasn't enough to put together for a review.
Who's for hotcakes?
For a review. So later, much later, like I'm talking 7 plus years later,
Who took my sample of
he came up with the idea of a part one short narration version, and then watch more, and then later a webcam review. A larger webcam review, season based, especially since I like I said, I like reviewing things more. I like reviewing things more than once. So a short review, then a large review later. So yeah, Bionic 6, Bionic 6, and I just finished watching 13 plus episodes. The show is even better now than it was when I saw it in 2016. It is way better than the reviews made it out to be. I watched the review channel. I think it was, I don't remember what review channel. I don't remember the name of the review channel, but the guy it was one of those channels that does nostalgia critic style comedy reviews and commentaries on shows from the past. And in that review, he tried to pick out every flaw of this show and make it look worse than it really is. But when I sat down and actually watched, it was way better than that guy gave it credit for. It's not without its flaws, which I'm going to get to later, but it's a phenomenal show. I said I'm going to get to the flaws later. If I had to bring up one flaw right now, and that's this: the show itself, as awesome as it is, it just isn't memorable. As awesome as the show is, apart from the theme song and the characters, I kind of forget what happens in each episode. Like I said in part one, and like it says on Wikipedia, the Bionic 6, this is loosely based upon two sci-fi television shows from the 70s and 80s. One called The Bionic Woman, and another called The $1 Million Man. And in one of those shows, there's a family called the Austin family, which this show is originally going to be centered around. But somewhere in production, this guy's scrapped, and they decided to use the concepts of those other two shows, but to make it based upon a whole new family led by the first and lead superhero, Bionic 1.
Happy hunting, guys.
One whose name was Jack Bennett. On one vacation trip, Jack Bennett's family, the rest of his family, which consists of two Caucasian kids, one Afro-American, and one Asian, and some stuff, and some robot monkey named Fluffy.
And how would you know where they are, stranger?
Fluffy. On one certain trip in the Arctic, an accident happens to the rest of Jack's family. So he has Dr. Sharp, Professor Sharp, who gave Jack one his bionics, to equip the rest of the family with bionics, and as such, they gain special superhuman abilities, and together they become a superhero adventure family facing various threats, with the most common threat being that of the main antagonist of the series, Dr. Scarab, who is the brother of Professor Sharp. In episode 10, which is the origin story of how this all began, he created his own Legion of Man by turning ordinary people into mutants. And those mutants are second in command, Glove, the dim-witted,
Which
the
direction?
lovable mechanic, Mechanic, who's the dumbest member of the group. Then you got Madam O, the only female. Madam O, the only female in the group. Then 4.
We can always flip a coin. I don't have a coin.
Then
so
4.
what do I have to do?
Then you got another dude named Chopper. Another dude named Chopper, and then you got a mutant swamp thing looking creature called Clunk, who's even more dim-witted than Mechanic, but he's also the strongest and most fearsome. Even the boss, Dr. Scarab, is intimidated by him sometimes. Sometimes. Yeah. The good guys, of course, I mentioned Jack Bennett, who is Bionic 1, voiced by the late John Stephenson. Then you got his wife. The second in command. The second in command, Helen Bennett, who is Mother 1. Then I mentioned the 2 Caucasian kids. First, you got a sports-themed guy named Aaron Bennett, who is Sport 1, who is Sports 1. He's a sports-style superhero. Then you got Meg Bennett, Rock 1, who of course she's like your stereotypical rocker character. Then you got James Dwight B. Corey, who's considered the strongest member of the group. The Afro-American. He is IQ. He is extremely intelligent and has excellent boxing skills. Then you got Bunjiro Tashihara, who reminds me of Liu Kang and Ryu. He is Karate 1, the guy with the martial arts prowess. He's also the most mischievous of the members there. Members that are voiced by the legendary Brian Toichi. And I mentioned who Fluffy was, who's voiced by Neil Ross. Yeah. Who's voiced by Neil
I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Ross. That's the plot to
Scarab made like an adamant
that's the plot to
Wait. I'm getting an image.
to Bionic 1. All of the episodes are self-contained, with the exception of episodes 10, 11 through 12, which are some of the biggest episodes of the series.
Thank you. Ooh.
Of the series.
That's for
The main antagonist, Dr. Scarab, his goal is to obtain immortality. His goal is to obtain immortality and rule the world. And he thinks the key to doing this is through Dr. Sharp's, his brother's bionic technology. And he does everything in his power to steal it. And that's what the entire series is about. The Bionics dealing with Dr. Scarab and his minions. I like how this show is similar a lot to the previous show, to the other sci-fi show I reviewed, Centurions, except this one is more superhero and is even more action oriented. The science fiction is a big part, but they remember action first. That's kind of where Centurions fell. And then I mentioned one thing I also liked about this show. The show, in various scenes, looks like an anime, and the people who worked on the anime Golgai, something like that, and one of my favorites, Space Fighter Cobra did animation show. This show is also similar to the shows of the late 90s, various shows of the late 90s, of the late 80s, early 90s, like the New Adventures of He-Man, the Toxic Crusaders, Captain Planet. This is a way better version of Captain Planet. The 90s Fantastic Four, which this team also reminds me of. That's another another superhero family, and this is one right here. Fantastic Four. I mentioned the Centurions already, and then I mentioned then I like that awesome and hilariously catchy '80s theme song. That is the most memorable part of the show. Like I said, I had to reread and rewatch the show over and over to put both of these reviews together right here. Bionic. Yeah, Bionic 6. Like I said, I enjoy all 13 episodes, with my favorite and best being episode 1.
Yes, my son. The gift of eternal life was ours, thanks to the Stone of Life.
With episode 1 being episode 1 being Valley of Shadows, where this episode, Dr. Scarab discovers immortality, but it has a price, and that price it causes his users to go rapidly old. Episode 2 was centers around my boy Karate One as he enters a underground martial arts underground martial arts karate tournament called to enter the Bungee. Then you got episode 4, another notable episode where the Clump character falls in love with some sea creature. Then we got Radio Scarab for episode 5, where Scarab creates a radio station and uses that station to transmit waves that jams the Bionics of the Bionic family, causing them to mess up and interfere with their powers, causing all sorts of problems. Then you got one of the most darkest episodes of the series, Family Affair, where the brothers Professor Sharp and Dr. Scarab learn of their mother Hilda Maleficent's they learn of her passing and agree to peace. However, Dr. Scarab, being the bad guy, he has no interest in peace, and this is all a ruse to lure Professor Sharp into a trap, and it's up to the Bionics to save him. As the end is revealed,
I'll explain everything. Right now we've got to.
At the end, it's revealed that Hilda's death was actually a trick by Scarab, and that she's seen alive at the end of the episode. But this was extremely dark for a children's cartoon. Then you got Happy Birthday Adam as another scary episode where the Bionics want to plan a surprise party for Professor Sharp, and Karate One alone, no one agrees with him, but Karate One wants to jump out of the cake and surprise Sharp. And throughout the episode, he's pulling various pranks on Rock and Roll, Roll and Rock One and Sport One. Dr. Scarab catches him, and Dr. Scarab captures Karate One, traps him, and switch places with him, and he plans to pop out of the cake. This really works because Karate One, he wanted to pop out of the cake and scare Dr. Sharp while dressing as his brother, Dr. Scarab. So the real Scarab pops out of the cake, and he has them fooled until Karate One comes and manages to get free and reveal it's all a ruse, and a battle ensues.
Yes, well, I suppose you would. That's why you're number 2 around here. You lack imagination. First, I'll use them to locate Sharp's secret lab.
Then you got episode 10, one of the greatest episodes, Bionic's The First Adventure, which tells you the entire origin story. And briefly at the end, one of the coolest parts of the episodes, when the Bionics agree to become a superhero team. When the Bionics become a superhero team, the legendary Bionics theme plays. Then you got your two-parters, episode 1 and 2, back to the past, where Dr. Scarab manages to manages to build a machine that brings the dinosaurs to the into the present. And over the course of these 2 episodes, the Bionics, they get trapped in the past and gotta find a way to return to the future without damaging it. Then you got the final episode, episode 13, which was another great one, but not as good as those ones I just mentioned. The final one features Fluffy, the robotic monkey, watching a Voltron inspired show called Cyclone the Great, and Mechanic also enjoys this childish cartoon. And when Mechanic meets his hero, he's disappointed to learn that his hero is not evil like him. So he takes control of the actor's robotic suit. He takes control of the actor's robotic suit and uses his power to manipulate Fluffy to turning against the Bionics and committing various crimes, but everything is resolved in the end. So yeah, this was season 1 of the Bionics. Like I said, the show is phenomenal. However, it's forgettable. You'll forget everything. Another issue was in the Back to the Past episode that there was a subplot. The other plot hole I mentioned, there was a subplot involving the character IQ, where he was arrogant know-it-all who annoys people, especially Karate 1, with his vast knowledge. The parents, Jack, Warren, and Helen, say that he will find someone who will appreciate his vast knowledge, and in this episode he does. He finds a fellow Afro-American female with short hair who does appreciate his talents. But at the end of the episode, she develops a crush on his alter ego, IQ. She develops an alter ego of his IQ when the Bionics, they don't wear any sort of like mask, or they don't wear anything to cover their faces. So in this throughout this series, no ordinary civilian can tell them, the Bionics, from their normal selves apart, even though the Bionics themselves do not do anything to cover their faces. And so it's stupid that the love interest no longer likes IQ's regular self, but now likes his superhero alter ego, when him and his superhero alter ego, not only are they one and the same, but IQ doesn't wear anything on his face. He doesn't wear anything on his face. He doesn't wear anything on his face. So that's stupid. How no one can tell them apart, and how the woman stopped liking IQ's. What was his name? Let me stop liking what was his name? Stop liking James the White GD Corey, and start liking his superhero alter ego IQ when they're one and the same. And when I say they're one and the same, everything about them is the same except their costume. There's nothing to cover. IQ's face where you couldn't tell them apart. So yeah, that was one of the only many flaws to the show, besides it being forgettable. But other than that, a phenomenal show, and one of the best, not only one of the best cartoons around, but one of the best to come out of the 80s. So yeah, this was my webcam review of Bionic 6. The real life superhero version is coming next. It will be in the description box below. You want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.
Thank you.